just came to play for the money. On 7 good ponies and some damn good swing. So get your team together, get fired up. So I can have a chop at you at the Inverell Swan Cup.
Hi everyone, welcome to the 13th Swan Cup video podcast. My name is Alex Wrobel from the Inverell Polocrosse Club, and so far we've managed to complete a video podcast each week in the lead up to the 2021 Inverell Swan Cup. We've used this podcast to provide you with information about the Swan Cup and meet the people behind the scenes who help to make our event a success. The Swan Cup will run from the 8th to the 11th of July 2021, and our Open Men's Polocrosse and Sale nominations open on the 19th of April and close on the 10th of May 2021. I'm here with our club member and leader of our Swan Cup, Cameron Neville. How are you going, Cameron?
I'm great, mate. How are you?
Yeah, going good, thanks. And our special guest this week is Justin Hafey from Jaylyn Downs Australian Stock Horse Stud. Thanks for joining us, Justin. How are you going?
Yeah, good, thank you. So thanks for the invitation. Looking forward to it all.
Excellent. Thanks once again for coming on board with us and doing a podcast. To get us started, I remember I started playing polocrosse around the early 2000s, and I remember in my early days setting out in the world of polocrosse. So we're at a carnival at Warwick, and I just remember listening to conversations. I was a member of the Maxwell Polocrosse Club then, and there were members such as Terry Donnelly and Scott Welsh, and they were talking about your sire, Star Berragoon, and the success of his progeny and things like that. Can you tell us a bit about him and what made him such a great sire?
Yeah, mate. In the earlier days, I bought him from Nita McLennan from Star Stock Horse Stud up there at Marionvale, and I liked him because I like the Star Black Minstrel in him, but I saw a couple of the earlier horses that Keith Bowling had that were by him, and so I went and bought the horse, and it sort of crossed it. Back then, I couldn't really afford a lot of stock horse mares, so I used to basically get any sort of thoroughbred I could get and put to him. But I ended up getting onto a line of an Inamorado line, which was a horse from the United States, and they crossed really well with Berragoon, and they were a fiery sort of a thoroughbred, and he always put a good calmness in them and a trainability. So he was very good to us, and we've still got a sire by him here in McCallum, and he seems to be putting the same sort of trait that Berragoon did. But mate, as far as him, what he did for us was he produced a lot of good polocrosse horses.
Yeah, definitely. And you've been on the top of the elite polocrosse scene for a really long period of time. Can you tell us what's contributed to that success?
Mate, yeah, I think horses basically. I think you got to have a good team around you first, but you must have good horses, and I'm probably getting it towards the end of sort of playing a high level, I guess. But my horses seem to keep me there, and hopefully they'll keep me there a little bit longer. I enjoy playing at the highest level, and I think if you've got a good pony, you can keep playing there. Doesn't matter how old you are. I think Smithy and blokes like Ross Turnbull and that proved that point. They always had good ponies under them, and they played for a long, long time. So I think horses are the main thing, and definitely having a good club around you helped me. In the earlier days, I guess, Warwick did a lot for me, and then we went on and did Tansey, and I've been sort of with Tansey now. Well, we started Tansey, and we've been going nearly 18 years now, and I was just lucky enough to have a good bunch of young fellas around us that sort of could keep me playing at that highest level.
Yeah, definitely. This year we saw the introduction of Berragoon's incentive competition and the modified format carnival with the silver spur and silver stirrup. How do you see these competitions? How do you see their role in rebuilding the strength of our great sport?
Yeah, mate, I think something's got to be done as far as our sport goes. I think in my lifetime that I've been playing, I think I counted up about 23 clubs around Queensland that I know of that have shut down since I've been playing. And I was talking to Phil Clark in South Australia, and he said he knows of about 15. So our sport definitely isn't going the right way. So I do think we need to change it. I think the incentives definitely the way to go. You know, for people like ourselves that breed horses and sell them, like we've had to probably go more into quarter horses and that to try and get to be able to go to Tamworth and Dalby and those places, because that's what they're chasing. But that doesn't really suit our sport. So I do think that we need to sale like what you guys are putting on and Berragoon. I think it's definitely great for our sport. It gives us a opportunity to be able to keep our thoroughbred lines. If you took a thoroughbred horse to a Nutrien sale, well, you'd probably get hardly anything for it. It seems to be influenced by the quarter horse from the States these days. But yeah, I think a sale that we've got where we can keep our Polocrosse lines in it is very good for our sport. And it also, the other thing it does, it gives us an opportunity to showcase our horses. So it gives a bloke that from Toonpine or out in the sticks somewhere to be able to come in and showcase his horse and make a team up and get into that so he can showcase his horse. So yeah, from a breeder's point of view, I think we've been crying out for something for this for a long, long time.
Yeah, definitely.
And hey, I want to talk to you, mate, about you know, obviously you're breeding a lot of horses, and you go back to the Starblack minstrel lines, and you know we haven't had our Swan Cup sale, and you've been trying to do Dalby and Learmart. Would you have people contact you on a regular basis looking for a horse to sell in a Polocrosse competition?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like we're getting calls all the time, and not so much getting a lot of Polocrosse calls, but we also get a lot of other calls for you know, a lot of stock horses. That we sort of sell a lot of horses into different fields, but Polocrosse is our game. And at the moment, for us to be able to breed the horse that we want to breed for Polocrosse, these sales will certainly help us, because otherwise we've got to go down a different avenue to be able to take a horse to Nutrien for Tamworth or Dalby or somewhere like that. We're looking at a totally different horse. So for what Berragoon's done and what the Swan Cup does, it actually allows us to keep breeding our Polocrosse horse, because it gives us an opportunity for somewhere to sell it and to showcase it. So, mate, yeah, I'm very excited about it. I'd like to see us have another one as well, you know, somewhere. But yeah, as far as Polocrosse goes, mate, we get calls all the time for a Polocrosse horse, you know. And unfortunately, I think we've lost our way a little bit with breeding a Polocrosse horse, because we go to these sales and we're basically buying camp draft lines, and we've gone away from the lines that have actually worked for us, like our Starblack minstrel, and you know, there was a lot of very good thoroughbred lines that I really liked, like Arrendack. Arrendack was he was a very sought after horse in the camp draft world, and also in the Polocrosse world. There are lines that we should still have, but we're slowly losing those lines. So I think these incentives that like what you're doing, I think will definitely help our sport.
And mate, with that, with value in a horse, you know, like, righto, I want to play A-grade Polocrosse on a regular basis, and I ring you up and I say to myself, righto, hey, if you got one up there and can it play and is it going to suit? How do you go about putting a figure on that with, you know, selling a horse privately? And the same question, do you think having them in an auction system will help the breeder
out? Yeah, I definitely think having it in an auction system actually helps the breeder. You know, like you just never know what you're going to get. That's one thing I like about an auction. You can go there and have a figure in your head, and you could double it. You mightn't get what you want, but it's easy to bring it home. But it's, you know, like I'm sure a lot of people have been I'm sure at the Berragoon sale the other day, I'm sure there are people there that well went over their reserve prices. So yeah, I think it definitely helps us to go to an auction, and it gives you an opportunity to actually showcase your stud. Like you do a private sale, not many people hear about it. So as far as having an auction, you get a lot of advertising out of that as well. So yeah, it's hard to put a price on a polocrosse horse because I think they're probably one of the, we train a lot of camp draft horses and we do a lot of contract mastering and a polocrosse horse is probably one of the hardest things to train. So you can actually put a little bit of time into a camp horse, and you can actually go and do a run. And I'm not saying you're going to go and win a draft, but you can go and compete on it. But for a polocrosse horse, there's a lot of work goes into a polocrosse horse. So yeah, I think an auction system definitely helps us try and recoup trying to recoup more money basically.
Yeah, well, that's what certainly we hope that happens with what goes on. And I think you're lucky enough with your family up there. They're all playing, and you got a lot of neighbours around you, and Collinses and the Gentrys, and then all practicing together. I'm sure in an off season you'd ride just as many horses as what you do in a competition time.
Yeah, for sure. We don't stop. One thing I can say is normally, Tom O'Neill's a very he loves training the horse, and John. So those fellas are down here all the time, and Trent, and we got a lot of people around here, the Burns, and we're very very strong polocrosse community. So I mean, yeah, we always we don't stop. Basically, our better horses go in the paddock, and we start taking the younger horses and we start mustering on them, and then we start playing them, and then we'll go mustering on them again. And then, so yeah, as far as we seem to be able to start horses fairly young into polocrosse through the work that they get. And yeah, I don't think I think our club as a club is it's a motivated club as far as producing horses. So yeah, to your question there was, yeah, we probably ride nearly more in the off season than we do through the polocrosse season.
Well, that shows probably in your results too. Like Tansey as an A grade club, with I don't know how many members you have or what, but everyone knows if you run into Tansey, you want to be on your best and you want to be ready to go. But mate, with the competition side of things, you mostly Tansey fellas coming down.
Yeah. We got quite a few Tansey. Unfortunately, we couldn't get all of Tansey just through your ratings that we have to meet. So we're excited. We got we'll have a team there, and young Woody's going to play with us again, and we're looking forward to that. He's got a strong connection with the Collins family for obvious reasons. And young Joe Walmsley's going to join us as well. So they'll be the two outsiders, but the rest of us will be Tansey fellas. So yeah, no, we're very excited to come, and I think it'll be a good show. So it's I think something like that's been crying out to sort of have up this way. I know they sort of do it down at Berragoon as well, but it's just a little bit closer to get to you fellas for us, and the quick turnaround from Berragoon back to it's normally on sort of the same time as that we do coaching schools in Narracourt. So we don't sort of get to the Berragoon one, so we're really looking forward to going to the Swan Cup. So mate, yeah, so we'll have quite a few Tansey people there, I think.
And with you just dabbed on it, the points not fitting your A grade team into it, good thing or a bad thing? What do you think?
No, I think it's a good thing, mate. I think it's great for the sport. You get to meet and play with other people, and you get to know other people better. Yeah, so no, we that doesn't sort of worry our side of it. I think it's a good thing. It actually makes you ring around. It gets more people there, more different families to come to it. So, mate, yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think the rating that you have there is a very competitive rating, and I think it just makes you think about your team a little bit. And yeah, I think it'll be good. I think it'll be very good. I don't think you'll. I think you'll be looking back on it in a few years' time, and you probably won't be changed much at all.
And mate, you were lucky enough to play with SA on the weekend at Barrastock at Warwick, and in the New South Wales fellas, you know, like they're pretty convincing, and they were hard to handle. You know, that was sort of the one aspect we were trying to go away from, is having that one team that just dominates, and you know, no one else is getting the prizes. So we sort of hope we bust them up, and we bust the SA team up a bit, and we bust the Queensland team up, Victoria and South Australia, do all that. You know, I just think it's a more even field for everyone's a chance of winning a prize on their day. You know, like we really hope there's not an easy game at the Swan Cup. You know, they're all even, they're all close, and we hope it's sort of a new look on it.
Yeah, no, it's as I said, it's a good rating that you got there. I think, you know, you don't want to drag it too far back. Like, you know, New South Wales at the Barrastock, they perform very well, and you know, it's up to the other states to catch those guys. It's we don't want to drag them back too far, I guess, because I think you can drag your competition back a little bit. But yeah, they're a very good side, and they got you know, there's a lot of fellas that'll come into that side that'll make them probably even better again. But yeah, I don't think you know, I think 48's it's a good target. I don't think it's going to drag it back too far. And but yeah, mate, that it was certainly a good side. The one that was there the other day, and they're always very competitive. New South Wales, you know, they're the leaders, and the rest of us got to try and catch them, I guess.
And mate, with our sale, I've been talking to you for a little while. Like you got horses yourself. You just bringing any McCallum horses down, or what? How are you sort of planning to fit in with it all?
Yeah, mate, we got some nice young horses to actually bring to you. Tell you the truth, Beth's got a nice Zulu Berragoon gelding to come down. We've started him. He'll be a great horse to bring back the next year. Yeah, we've got a mentor filly, mate. Yeah, and I'm oohing and arming on my I got a lovely McCallum mare there. So, and then there'll be young Dan's talking about might be selling one there as well. So, for myself, I'll probably have 2 or 3 there, and my Beth will have one, and Dan will probably have one as well. So. Yeah, mate, we want it. We're as I said, it's a blessing for us. Like it gives us somewhere to sell our ponies without having to rely on you know, Dalby. And as you say, Dalby, it can be dictated by the cattle market as well. So so no, we're looking forward to see how you go with it, and we'll be definitely there to support it.
Yeah, mate. Well, we're excited to have you. As anyone that's breeding horses for the sport, like we're only trying to make it better and have the caliber of horses you fellas have got around you. Like anything we can do to promote them and have them out there. Like we just appreciate any of you fellas who are trying to come and help our show. That's for sure. Yeah,
no, it's good. As I said, I think it's just a great opportunity to showcase people's horses. You know, so. Yeah, so as far as all that side of it goes, but I think the competition side of it will be great as well, and I think you'll be dragging a lot of people there. And if people want to be part of it, I guess they got to sell a horse there and buy a horse. So we've been crying out for something like this. You need something to be able to feed itself and not rely on sponsors and you know, people coming through the gate and all that. Like, you know, if you look at the Nutrien camp draft, it'd be actually feeding itself by now. You'd know a bit more about that side of it than I would, but Polocrosse always seems to be going back and hitting its players for money, you know. So I think once this gets up and running, it'll nearly feed itself, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, we certainly hope so, mate. It comes down to the number of horses we get for sale. That's what really pushes it, and that's what really will stabilise, whether it's a success or it isn't. We're getting a lot of help and a lot of push from the player side of thing. They're all really keen to come and be a part of it. We're getting a lot of support from people wanting to buy horses who want to play. So our thing is like the nominations are open now. So if people want to get on board and put in a horse, the little bit that I can sort of say about it is that people are crying out to buy a polocrosse horse. People are wanting an opportunity to have something to ride for, and all we're trying to do is give them an opportunity. We're trying to give the breeder an opportunity to sell a good one. We want the purchaser the opportunity to buy a good one that he might never have heard of. He might know Justin Hafey from anyone, but he gets a chance to go up and meet you and talk to you about your horses and maybe build a relationship for later on. And then watch some good polocrosse at the same time. So just trying to tick the boxes.
Yeah, mate, just another quick question that, like, for people out there, if they have a stock horse that's in as a first cross, I'm assuming that's still eligible to be in the sale?
Yeah, mate, as long as it's a registered stock horse, it's in. Yeah. So, especially you fellas want to use your thoroughbred broodmare bloodlines.
Yeah,
we're all in. And that's polocrosse. That's polocrosse. It's a lot of thoroughbred there. So we definitely, anything that can be registered and that is registered is allowed to come to our sale.
Yeah. That's very good.
Just for yourself, Justin, with the incentives on offer in the future, how does that motivate yourself as a buyer, and how do you think it motivates other buyers?
Yeah, well, as Cam said, I guess if you got numbers there and it's going to keep rolling along, I think you're mad if you don't buy a horse. If you want to be part of it. And look, I think we've been, as I said, most breeders have been crying out for something like this. So they should be grabbing it and supporting it, because I hate to see an opportunity go missing here. And but yeah, like as far as I was talking to a few of our fellas, and I said, "You want to get in and buy a horse?" So yeah, if you look at the Nutrien sale, they buy them and they bring them back and they run them and then they sell them again and they buy them and they sell again. And so I think if we can build it up to where we can actually get $1 out of it, I think everyone will get on and support it. They're mad if they don't. And as I said, like if we want polocrosse to keep going ahead, something's got to be done. And you guys have actually, along with Berragoon, they're really trying to do something. So I think we need to support it as breeders, and as a polocrosse player, you need to try and get in and support it. So hopefully it'll be a great success.
And mate, have you got your heater packed for July at the Inverell Showground on the river?
I've been there for a while, Cam. So I definitely will have something there to heat me up. The South Australians that gave me some slippers, mate, so I'll even bring them. So, mate, we're looking forward to it. So hopefully you'll get big numbers, get good teams, and yeah. So, mate, what do you call a success with it? How many teams would you like to see there?
Between 10 and 16 teams would be a good number. And then between 50 and 100 horses would be a good number to sell. Yeah. That gets us off the ground. That gets us off the ground. That's paying for itself. That's running a show. That's everyone coming away with something. That's the Inverell Club putting something in its back pocket, which they can put towards their own facilities and their own grounds, which we're lucky enough to purchase. And yeah, I just think if we can get half a decent crowd there to watch some good polocrosse and back it up, well, the first one's always the hardest one. And I remember Charlie Marr saying that when they were doing the Nutrien thing. He said, you just got to have one. And then we're lucky enough that Nutrien have said to us, well, we'll give you 3 years to get it off the ground. So we got the Stock Horse Society on board with us. They're backing us. So it's really just up to us to run a proper show and get it out there.
Mate, I see that you got Mark helping you as well. Is that right?
Mark Barton.
Yeah.
So Mark was our first contact when we started to have the first talks about running something and having a sale. Well, there's really no other powerhouse like Nutrien Equine when it comes to it. When you watch what they do at Tamworth and how they've done that, and that's purely what we based our show off was how they run Nutrien. And Mark, he was more than happy to just jump on board straight away. It's something that they don't do anywhere else. I know they're dabbled in the harness business at the moment, and then they got their camp draft side of things. They've got their Fountain of Youth sales. They've got Willinga sales. But as far as Polocrosse goes, they've really never been involved. But Mark was keen. And then even the Stockhorse Society, when we approached them, like a lot of people were sort of putting a bit of heat on the Polocrosse Society, on the Stockhorse Society, about supporting Polocrosse, and how they do it. And, a lot of the horses are registered and they're not getting bang for their buck. And we sort of had to go down and approach them about it. Brett Welsh, he was probably my first contact, and then Barry Moore, and then we're talking to the board. And since we've sort of had our first meeting, they've just been more than generous with their time and how they're backing us up.
Yeah, I just think with his experience and what they've achieved at Tamworth, I think having blokes like that on board would be a big plus. And hopefully you can have the same success that is showing there. Like if you look at the prices of horses and that are coming, and you only need it to grow a bit each year, and that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, I was talking to Mark about how how he's going to justify next year's Nutrien sale with the prices of horses this year, and trying to handle the vendors' expectations of what horses are going to make. And Mark just seems to think, he says, you know what, he goes, every year I go there worried about it, and the next year they just make a bit more. He said they're just happy to support it, they want to be a part of it. So hopefully our show gets to something like that, where if we end up with 100 horses, we got more than 100 people want to play next year.
Yeah. No, as I said, like I think most people should get on board, and hopefully they'll jump on board and support it without actually sitting back and wait and see what happens. So, as I said, as far as our side of it goes, we've needed something like this in Polocrosse for a long time, and it's you only have to have a look at what Berragoon did the other day. Like I can't recall in my lifetime anyway another horse selling for $48,000 into Polocrosse. So I think that's a very good thing, and they were leading the way there, and hopefully Polocrosse horses, people will start realising the value in them, and it's much nicer playing on a good one than not having a good one. So as you would probably know, mate, we've all been there. So hopefully you'll see a few dear prices with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh well, I expect people, mate, to want to be buying a good horse. Like if you turn up with the horse that's set, with the preparation that goes into a good A-grade horse, if you turn up with one of them, I don't know what it can make, because people want to roll out next week, have it half fit and go, and be competitive. Yeah.
All right. So just a reminder before we go, our event will run from the 8th to the 11th of July, 2021, and our Open Men's Polocrosse and Sale nominations opened on the 19th of April, and they close on the 10th of May. So they're open right now. Justin, Hafey, thanks for joining us here on the Swan Cup podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys, and I'll see you down there.
Excellent. Looking forward to it.
Stay in touch, mate.
No worries, mate. Talk to you.
So I can have a chop at you at the Inverell Swan Cup.